Hey guys, so one of the things that we overcomplicate these days is self-portraits. And one of the most frustrating parts of self-portraits is focus. How do you nail focus if somebody else isn't behind the camera focusing for you? And if you look this up nowadays, a lot of videos will point you towards a very complicated process where you're actually using manual focus, you're setting your camera up, and you're going to the spot where you're going to stand or sit, and you're going to use a stand-in object like a light stand or a chair. And then you go back to your camera, manually focus on that object, and then go back to the spot, take the object out of the frame, and then walk back to the spot, miraculously remembering where that spot was, and then take a picture with like an infrared remote, right? That's just complicated. And the good news is there are a lot of tools built into these cameras that we just kind of overlook, because I suppose they're there for other reasons, but one of those tools is the intervalometer. A lot of people use the intervalometer for time-lapse photography. And if you haven't played with time-lapse photography, I definitely recommend diving into it. It's super fun. And if nothing else, it's one more reason to get your camera out of the bag and practice. But in this case, the intervalometer can save you a lot of time and headache, especially if you're not taking pictures of just yourself, but maybe your family with you. This is how the intervalometer works in the Nikon Z6. Let's go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna hit menu, and we're gonna go down to the photo shooting menu, and inside of that menu we're gonna go all the way down till you're almost at the very end, and you'll see interval timer shooting. And when you go into that menu, really it's a basic tool. All you're doing is you're telling the camera to take photographs automatically without you. You can tell it when to start, you can tell it how many pictures you want to take and how often. So how often is the interval? Intervals times shots is how many shots you want it to take. And then there's some other settings in here: interval priority, starting storage folder. These are things I'm not even going to mess with. I'm going to leave them on the default. I want to keep this video as simple as possible. And that's it. So I'm going to tell the camera to take a picture every 5 seconds. And I'm going to tell it to take, let's do 3 photographs. That's it. Now I'm going to come up here, and if I want the camera to start taking pictures immediately, I'll just hit start. Except I got to stop, I got to set up my flash and my background, so let me do that real quick, and then we'll do this. Okay, let's take a couple pictures. We've got the interval, let's go back to that setting. So our interval is set to 5 seconds, right? And then we're taking 3 photographs. So that's what that looks like. We're gonna tell it to start pretty much right away here. It's gonna start taking pictures as soon as it gets focus, really, like a couple of seconds. It'll probably miss focus on me in the first picture, maybe even the first 2 pictures, depending on how long I take to kind of get in place, right? But that's okay, because the autofocus eventually is going to see me. It's gonna find me, and we're taking like 3 different photos. So let's go ahead and start it. Okay, I wasn't really ready for that first one. It's okay. We're in place for the second one. And let's do something different for that third one. Let's like I kind of move that face in front of my body, and let's check out the focus. Did it get me at least on those last 2, right? So here's the last photograph. Let's check my face here. Totally nailed it. That is awesome. So remember, we're at f1.8, super shallow, so you can see my left eye is nice and sharp, and my right eye is actually soft, right? So that's how shallow the depth of field is there. Normally you wouldn't shoot this shallow. I think especially if you're shooting pictures or self-portraits with like your family. If you got multiple people, you're gonna want to stop down, close down that aperture. Here's the second photograph. Not bad. I think I'm a little softer there. The focus is somewhere in my face, not really on my eye. So you can see in that first photo, it didn't find me. It hadn't found me yet. I was still walking sort of into the frame. Then it refocused, pretty much got me there. I think the focus in this second shot is on like my beard somewhere. But it's actually close enough. This is a usable photograph, and I didn't have to like set something up, then come back here, focus on it, then go back over there and move it out of the way, and then push the button. You know, I didn't have to hide a remote control. This is so much simpler, guys. So I know that it's possible, and I'm super excited to share this with you. Let's do it one more time. We'll stop down the aperture to f2.8. What that's going to do overall to the exposure is darken it, right? So we're going to turn the flash up to compensate for that. So we go back into the menu here, interval timer shooting. We'll do the same thing. We'll just do 3 photographs. Hit start. Totally gonna miss me. I'm not even gonna try for that first one. There's that second shot. Let's do the lean in again. Let's see how she did. I really hope that this video helps you. I think that it's important that we take these modern tools that we have and we don't just stereotype them to only one use. I know that the interval timer shooting mode is really made and meant for time-lapse photography, but you don't have to use it like that. You could use it like this and save yourself a lot of headache when you're taking some family portraits. So anyway, I hope that helps, guys. More videos absolutely coming at you shortly. Stick with me. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Let's get this thing.